Welcome to the Big Bear Homestead. Today is episode 9 in our Preparedness series. So today, we're talking about food storage. Alright, so we're going to tackle the subject of food storage. Okay? But don't get excited. We're not going to be able to cover it all in this video. I mean, granted we could, but the video would probably be 2 hours long, and that's just not feasible. So we're going to break it up into different parts, and we're going to talk about long-term, short-term, the different ways that you can put food up, the different things that you can do to make food last longer, and we're going to talk about rotating your food through your system. So let's get this started, and this week we're going to talk about vacuum sealing. Okay, so what is vacuum sealing? Well, scientifically, vacuum sealing is the art of placing something in a container and then removing the air out of that container and then sealing it airtight. So what does that mean for us in the preparedness and the homesteading mindset? Well, let's use this rice as an example. Okay, we measured out for our household how much rice we use at one meal. We use about a quart. This is a little over a quart because we put a quart and then some in there just in case we have unexpected guests. Alright, so we put that amount in this bag. We've vacuum sealed it. We removed all the air and it's sealed. Now, by itself, sitting in the bag that we got it from at the store, this rice alone would last maybe a year. This way, in here, this rice is good for up to 8 to 10 years. Plus, now here's the cool thing. Excuse me. If we were in a survival situation and we needed to get some rice, we could go out to our bucket or 55-gallon drum or wherever we've got all of these stored, and it's just for one meal. We reach in here and just pull out one bag so we don't have to break the seal on all the other bags of rice. So that way when you, for example, if you were to use a big 3 or 4 gallon Mylar bag and you bust the seal, then you'd have to reseal it and go through all that rigmarole again, which is just time and energy, one, that you don't want to release, and two, you may not have the ability to reseal that Mylar bag. So with this, you just reach in there, pull out the amount you need. We know this is one meal, and we go and make it. That's an advantage. So how do we go about sealing items in our vacuum sealer? All right, so the vacuum sealer that we use is the Food Saver brand. Now, they come in many different shapes and sizes. We have just the basic model. We didn't need the big tower one where you could slide this, do this, and all these bells and whistles. The more bells and whistles that it has, the more likely it is to break. That goes with anything. We got the bare minimum because we knew we were just going to be sealing in bags and in mason jars. All the other stuff is just extra stuff that could break and stuff that you and I are probably not really going to use. And it's very simple. You get your bag, you fill your bag full of your rice, and then you take it. Now, one of the things that we do, if you are sealing meats or anything that has moisture to it, we take a paper towel and we fold it over and we put it right here in this section. And the reason for that is that way when you place this puppy down in here, like such, and you lock it in and you turn it on, it's going to be sucking all the air and everything out of it, which means that moisture also, and you don't want the moisture getting in your machine. So the paper towel gets all the moisture, soaks it all up, and it doesn't get into your machine, which helps your machines live longer. Okay? So now that we've done that, all you do is you place the amount of food that you're going to use inside your bag. In this case, it's a little bit, about a quart and a pint of rice. All right, you give yourself ample, what I call headroom in here. Place the end of it to where it fits in this tray that's down in here, over your rubber seals. Place it in there, because that's supposed to catch anything that leaks out. Put it down, hit your lock button, bam, vacuum and seal, and the machine does the rest. Your light will go on, letting you know that it's working, and once it's done, the machine will shut down. You unlock it. Sometimes it'll even go done. You can label it if you want to. We do with our meats. We'll label it, what meat it is, and the date, and you stick it in the freezer, or you stick it in your other storage container, drums, buckets, whatever. Bam. Now, but you're not limited to the bags. That's what's cool. You have a little auxiliary port right here. I can never say that word. Okay? Got an auxiliary port. You got this accessory tube with ends. One end goes in here, bam, like such. Now, you have these special vacuum seal food saver doodad lids that go on your mason jar. Okay? Now that you can tell, this one's been sealed. Okay? Now, this makes it really nice. You just plop that down on it. Put this tube in the other end. Hit vacuum and seal. Well, you gotta lock it down. Vacuum and seal. Bam! The machine does the rest of the work. Now, the mason jars do take a little bit longer than the bags. Okay? Another thing is, once it's done, release from here first. This is the trick that we've learned. We hold your lid down on, pull your tube out, that releases some of the pressure, and then gently pull this off. Because sometimes this rubber seal in here will still grab a hold of your mason jar lid and pop it. You just got to be real careful. And then you can put your ring on if you want. You don't have to. I put them on there because they make a noise. And so that way, if the kids are not careful, I can hear them getting into the snacks. And they're great to, when you dehydrate pineapples or any type of fruit or marshmallows or anything, you can just stick them in these little mason jars. And these are a whole lot easier to reseal after you've eaten a little bit versus the bags. Now, you can reseal the bags. They can be used multiple times. It's just each time you're cutting away at this line, okay? So your bag is getting smaller, so it won't hold the same amount the very next time. And that's it. That's all there is to it. So as long as you've got electricity, vacuum sealing works great. So that's it for this week's video. Join us next week when we're going to talk about dehydrating. Thanks for coming by the Big Bear Homestead, and like always, have a nice day. Okay, we're going to tackle the topic of food storage, long-term, short-term food storage. And in this video, all right, so we're going to tackle the topic of food storage, long-term, short-term, all about food storage, the different ways to do it, what works, what doesn't work. We're going to talk about rotating. But this week, I've already messed this up. So we're going to do into a quart size, or as you were, the